I hate that I let these stupid ass influencers annoy me as much as I do, but you know what? I do, and I'm gonna talk about it. So, we are gonna be talking about James Charles and these TikTokers. Some of them I don't know their names. There's James, Charlie's sister, the other one, and Lorraine. I don't know who the other one is, and the sister. But anyway, okay, so it's within that group, right? They've just been constantly avoiding taking any responsibility for the impact they're having on promoting gathering in groups, but also just using excuses.
By the way, you should really follow me on TikTok. My username is @AdamMcIntyre with an underscore at the end, and my profile picture is Kylie Minogue because I'm secretly undercover in that account. So please go follow for a good time. Bye, bestie.
Now, you're probably like, what? Because we've talked about this before. No, something new has happened, especially over Christmas time. Now, I don't know. I've looked into it, but where you are, it may be a bit different. But over here in Derry, we are now on a strict 6-week lockdown. We have a curfew, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., which means we're literally not leaving our house. And in California, they're now in another lockdown. Yet James Charles thinks it's great to film more collabs and more little stupid dances in a fucking pandemic than he did when we weren't in a pandemic. And this is the problem that people are, you know, so tired of talking about that they're just not talking about it anymore. And that's what James Charles wants. And you know what? This is not the energy that we are gonna be... sorry. That's not the energy. That is not the energy that we are going to be taking into 2021, where it's like, oh, if they just keep doing it, we'll stop talking about it. That didn't happen with Shane, it didn't happen with Jeffrey. I don't know why people allow it to happen with James. I think it's because they're like, oh, whatever happened to him in 2019, which was awful and so disgusting. Yes, warranted, but since that, he's been a pretty bad person in a lot of ways, and people are so scared to call him out for it because, you know, how bad it was back in 2019. But if he's gonna continue doing this, then you're allowed to continue calling him out for it, which is what his fans and the general public are doing, and he's now silenced them by turning off his comment section. But let me give you a little bit of context, babe. So James Charles has been posting these TikToks. First of all, you're literally breaking guidelines and all like this to film a TikTok where you look so stiff and you're just trying to poke your ass out the entire time. That goes for all y'all. So here we have in the middle, I'm not playing the music because of copyright, obviously, but if we look here, we see James Charles, Charli D'Amelio's sister, whoever this is, Lorraine, the other one, and the other one. Oh, that one's Noah Beck, but I don't know what the other one is. He's like white and skinny. I don't know what it is. Like, Lil Huddy, sorry. I do know his name. First of all, they've been posting non-stop videos over Christmas, like on all their different channels, and have been flooding the trending page, which, okay, if you want to flood the trending page, like, you know, YouTube, mwah, original, giving us a variation of content that Cody Co actually called them out on, and I'm glad he did. But, okay, just say that YouTube did that and whatever. In, like, a normal time, that will be fine, right? But if you're literally... and YouTube pushing it, all of these creators who are literally going out of their way to break guidelines and be like, we're getting tested every day, and we're going to talk about why that's not a valid argument anymore, because there's doctors literally coming forward saying about the false negatives and how you're using up the testing kits because every single fucking day you want to allegedly use another one so you can do a little shitty dance for your TikTok. Like, not even YouTube videos at this stage. So anyway, there's a few TikToks calling James out that I'm going to show you. So here we go, here's the first one.
So infuriating about these people is that they literally have jobs where they can create content alone, away from each other, follow all CDC guidelines, stare at the camera and smile, and still make an unfathomable amount of money, but instead they do shit like this and can't just sit their asses at home, as if LA isn't the epicenter for coronavirus right now.
Okay, by the way, if you hear, like, little, like, freaking dog things, my dog just had pups, so that's what that is, and I'm filming right beside her. I'm just, like, making sure she's okay, so I'm, like, down here at 2 a.m., so that's what that noise is. But anyway, so let's play that again.
So infuriating about these people is that they literally have jobs where they can create content alone.
Such a valid point.
Each other, follow all CDC guidelines, stare at the camera and smile, and still make an unfathomable amount of money, but instead they do shit like this and can't just sit their asses at home, as if LA isn't the epicenter for coronavirus right now.
Okay, so we have that, and that's one of the first ones I'm going to show you. And that brings up a very great point, that YouTubers literally are in the best situation. This goes out to, like, Tana Mojo and all these TikTokers who are involved with James right now. You have the easiest fucking job. You can sit at home, you can put a fucking smile on, you can talk to a camera, and you can make more money than fucking any of us. And so if you can do that, and you're actively going out of your way to not do that, that's a big F you to your audience, and they're slowly starting to catch on to it. They're very young, so it's been taking them a while, but there's ones there that are older that are educating them, and in videos like this, that's educating them as well. So that's the first TikTok I'm going to show you, and it's a really fucking annoying whenever that's literally what they can do. They can sit home, do videos talking to the camera, especially as a makeup artist, James, and you can make millions off that. But you know what? You don't want to do that, and you want to film your little stupid TikToks, whatever, breaking LA's guidelines. Okay, ha 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 ha. Like, okay. So then we have this.
I know, my voice sounds so bad. I went to the right now, I just have a little bit of a cold, but that is not gonna
A little bit of a cold?
Festivities with my best.
He just said, if you didn't hear, let's replay that. James Charles just said.
Look at this. I know, my voice sounds so bad. I went to the right now, I just have a little bit of a cold, but that is not gonna
A little bit of a cold?
James Charles, in one of the videos that they posted together, said, sorry that my voice is a little bit different. I have a little bit of a cold right now. Well, James, you dumbass, you know what you're supposed to do in that situation? Self-isolate, even if it's a cold, because it develops. COVID-19 is a development from the, like, oh my god. These people are so the fake wokes. James, you're selling Sisters Apparel fucking masks? If you're so sick, why aren't you wearing one in these collabs? At a bare minimum. That's literally the bare minimum you can do. If you're going to these collabs sick. And the D'Amelio sisters, their parents, I know yous are fucking show puppets anyway and you want them to do that. How fucking dare, like, how dare you allow this to happen? I'm saying that for Charlie because she's 16, but the 19-year-old one, who I forget what your name is, like, shame on you as well. And for your boyfriend, I forget his name, and the other one, whatever, and Lorraine, like, shame on all of y'all. Like, there's a reason people are calling you out, Lorraine, as well, and saying that you're completely different ever since mixing with these people, and it's a very valid point. And so, that's the other one I'm going to show you. Now we have another one. So, James Charles now saying that not only is he meeting up and, you know, breaking restrictions, he's also sick during the filming of all of these. Isn't that a fucking slap in the face to the doctors? Yeah. The next thing I'm going to show you is James Charles posted a video where he was giving his parents their Christmas present, and he was paying off their house. Very nice thing, very sweet moment. But it was ruined by James's pure irony that he's not seemingly seeing. So here's another TikTok.
We all know that 2020 has been a really difficult year for families everywhere, and my own included. My dad is a self-employed contractor, which has made it working really hard during coronavirus. My mom's job was also compromised as well.
So this person wrote, MF, if people like you didn't hang out with your entire city, maybe that wouldn't be the case. So now that you know that, just hear the irony of what James Charles is saying here about how his parents are affected.
2020 has been a really difficult year for families everywhere, and my own included. My dad is a self-employed contractor, which has made it working really hard during coronavirus. My mom's job was also compromised as well.
James, are you not seeing the irony here? Are you not seeing the plain fucking irony? No. Okay, so I just need to, first of all, they were getting so much backlash. I'm going to read out a few comments in a second, but they were posting more of these TikToks together, so this is like on another day or whatever, and James Charles had to turn the comments off. He turned the fucking comments off on this because he was getting called out so much. So again, just silencing his fans who are calling him out. And now keep in mind, a lot of the fans who are calling these people out are ones who've directly been involved and affected by coronavirus. Losing family members, or near losing family members, nearly losing their own lives, or, you know, like, it's people who are being affected by this. And imagine imagine being a fan of James Charles, a fan of Lorraine, a fan of Charli D'Amelio's sister, the other ones that are there, and Tana Mojo, like, bringing her in, her fucking friends who are going out and partying. I was like, what am I hearing? I thought I was going insane. It was a car driving past. Imagine losing, say, your mother to coronavirus, your father to coronavirus, your any extended family member to coronavirus, and your favorite person in the world, James Charles, posts a new video, and you're like, oh, I want to watch it, and it's him breaking guidelines and meeting up, and then being like, we're getting tested. You're using up testing kits. I don't even believe y'all are getting tested. You know, every day you're just using that because it's an easy way. I don't believe that, but even if you are, that's even worse because you're using up testing kits because you want to film a TikTok dance. Is it worth it? Now I'm going to read you out some comments just to show you that everyone's really on the same page about this. So in regards to the James Charles video where he was saying that his parents have been so affected by coronavirus, people said, and he claims he's one of the smarter influencers. Not him saying at the start of one of his videos, even though he is sick, he's still going to see his friends. He turned off the comments on his most recent TikTok because he couldn't take the heat. LA influencers can't stand being called out. James, you and your friends are part of the problem. Not him being rich and trying to sympathize with people who were and are actually struggling and saying life is hard when he continues to go out. Like, doesn't James see the irony here? And at the end of the day, I believe he does, because I've said multiple times that I believe, James Charles, you are a smart individual, especially from a business point of view. So how are you not seeing the fucking, you're obviously trying to use this, that your parents have been affected by coronavirus in their work, so your video has a bigger impact when you're saying you're paying off their house. I get it. But aren't you realizing that that fucking conflicts everything that you're doing? Because you're like, for my work, I need to meet up and do a TikToks. We're getting tested. I need to meet up up and do a little dance. We need you. Like, you're literally the problem. You and your friends are the problem that are really adding to affecting your parents who are living in the same, like, you, oh my god, the irony. So, first of all, we have them comments. Someone said, for the argument that he hangs out with the same 5 people, those 5 people have been seen hanging out with other multiple people. Just say you lack empathy and go. So yeah, it's not even a case of they're just meeting up in their little fucking friendship group, because then we're seeing them out at parties, we're seeing them going to gatherings. People meet people, people meet people, people all back together. And James, you know what that fucking contributes to? Your parents being out of a job, which you're literally saying is I need to watch that again, because it's just, like, there's no way, like, there's no way.
It's been a really, really difficult year for families everywhere, and my own included. My dad is a self-employed contractor, which has made it working really, really hard during coronavirus, and my mom's job was also compromised as well.
Okay, and a lot of other peoples in LA have, because you're contributing to the numbers ever growing, whether you want to admit it or not. Now let me read out some comments. Charlie doesn't post her going out on TikTok anymore because she knows she'll be called out. Yet she's all over everyone else's TikToks. Don't they get tested like daily? We have limited tests, and all of those people, plus their management teams, get tested daily for TikToks. It's a waste of resources, and this is what the problem is, right? Like, people are like, why do you care so much if they, you know, get fucking coronavirus or whatever? At this stage, we don't care. Like, we don't want them to have it, like, that's something you would never wish on someone, but at this stage, we're just caring about them using up the resources. So, they get tested often. They shouldn't be putting themselves in a position where they have to get tested often. Yes, that's it. That is the point. No fucking thing is it like, alright, I have to get tested in the morning, I have to get tested in the afternoon, you are wasting tests. Because that's what it is. It's not just James Charles. It's not just, you know, the 6 people in the group. It's their managements. It's their parents. It's their, you know, day in, day out, if that is you getting tests. And I don't believe yous are. But, okay, go ahead with it. The most infuriating part is they're just gonna ignore the comments about it and continue to do what they want. We get tested. The country has a limited amount of testing equipment. It's not something you can play around with because you have coin. And at the end of the day, the world revolves around these rich people and they can buy it above people who actually need it. And that's what's disappointing as well. And for people who preach that, you know, they had a come-up story, all of them, by the way, it's extremely hypocritical and just shows how they've really changed. And that's a really sad thing. But you know what? Something their audience is gonna have to, you know, get used to, because this is them now, but at least we're aware of it. Also, James saying he has a cold isn't gonna stop him. Like, sir, y'all remembered when James Charles visited Hawaii in the middle of a pandemic and blocked Hawaiians who were calling him out for it? So now just going to other places too, James. Funny how they're not responding. Maybe they're just not on their phones again. I miss when influencers were like, oh, I have no friends and all I do is go on the internet. Literally, and even if they were getting tests, the tests aren't always accurate, especially within the first week of exposure. And yeah, you can get tested and literally leave the testing building and get it. Just because you get tested pretty often doesn't make it right. If we all have to respect rules and isolate, why are you any different? And this is coming from fellow Americans, and now this is coming from me, who is from Derry. We have just left. We were literally out of a lockdown. We're back in one. You know what? We're all respecting it. We're in a lockdown again. A couple weeks ago, we weren't in one. A couple weeks before that, we were in one. You know what I mean? It's like, we're following the guidelines. None of y'all are. And this is like Americans being like, we're fucking following them. Why aren't these fucking dickheads? We were tested. Okay, and tests aren't unlimited, so stop trying to use unnecessary tests and just stay home and socially distance. And now, here's my thing as well. James Charles, you are very talented at makeup. Not at dancing, at makeup. So why aren't you sitting at home and being creative, unleashing your inner fucking artist, like you say? Because you can do that and make so much money. We get it. You're trying to push this sister squad, you know, on like the TikTokers and get people on board with that. Long story short, they're not gonna. The Sister Squad was its own thing. You can't replicate it with these boring people. Besides the point, right? Unleash your inner artist and stay home. Oh my fucking god. Like, if there was ever a time to fucking unleash your inner artist, it's now. You have all the time to stay at home and do this. And it's like the Hype House fucking manager saying, yeah, for his business, he has to go out and party. Not about James, but about the Hype House. And it's like, y'all seem to follow this same thing. And for Charlie, and for Dixie, and for Lorray, and, the other ones, you know what I mean? Like, damn. Y'all live like this? How disrespectful. And I don't care. The more and more I have to talk about this, the more and more I get angry. And it's not a case of, I talked to a few drama channels about this, and we were talking about James, and how James Charles has been entering this I'm untouchable stage again. Fine if he wants to think like that, right? But whenever you're directly involving everyone else, with like, you know, taking kits away for testing, whatever like that, that's when you're crossing the line. And it's like, when will you realize? Like, at this stage, I'm starting to think all of y'all have already had this virus. Maybe that's why you're so thinking you're invincible. Like, I'm confused. And like your teams and your management, and it's like, this is a PR disaster. And it's like, but you're still trying to get your clout out of it, and it's like, okay, Jesus Christ. Think of the amount of YouTubers who've put in extra work this pandemic because they couldn't leave their house and they're having to come up with other original ideas. And these people who are literally in the makeup field, and Charlie, Dixie, you are little dancers. Or I don't know what your sister does. Dixie, that was her name. Oh my god, I've been thinking about it. Dixie. Got it. I just don't know what the other ones are. But anyway, Dixie and Charlie, you can literally dance at home. I don't think Dixie dances. I think she's just famous because of Charlie. But you know what? Okay, you're allowed to be. Stay home, do your little fucking dances. James, do your makeup at home. Lorraine, play your games at home. You were literally like a Minecraft YouTuber or whatever, or doing your little Sims or whatever games you did. And the other ones, dance at home. You know what I mean? You don't have to be going out. You can make almost more money by just doing all this on your own. Then people will be more excited whenever you're able to meet up again, and you're promoting that, like, you know, we're staying in now and everyone can stay in to your young audience. You're affecting your younger audience who can think that they can go out. And then your teenage and young adult audience are just pissed off at you. For what? Is it worth pissing off your fucking... Because we're not in this together. Y'all keep saying we're all in this together with this pandemic. It doesn't seem like you're in it with us. So don't try to... This is not a two-way... So, guys, what's your opinion on this? This is beyond fucking frustrating because this keeps happening. How many times has we talked them going to parties, them going to gatherings, the collabs, like, damn, they're doing more work during the fucking pandemic than they were before. You're supposed to be working from home or whatever like that. Like, these people are living like they're in New Zealand, or, you know, these places that are cleared from coronavirus now, or even in the likes of, like, Ireland that was, you know, not in a lockdown, but now in a lockdown or whatever. And it's like, no, they're in California. They're in LA, where the numbers are at their worst, and it's still like a mentality. I don't know, it's weird, and it really doesn't sit well, and it doesn't sit well that the amount of, like, underage people who are just gonna be like, yeah, this is fine, this is normalized, you know, I can go out with my friends. And that's a conversation that the parents then need to have with the child, being like, who told you this was okay? Because at schools and stuff, they'd be like, no, that's not okay, who told you? Did your parents tell you? No, James Charles told me it was okay. That's not normal. I don't care, you can do your makeup from home, your dances from home. That's me ending this video. It's so annoying. I will see you in my next one. Tell me what you're thinking. Bye.